Hello again and welcome to another video. In this video are my personal choices when it comes to removing coloured pencil from the paper. There's only 4 rubbers that I'd actually grab for, and I mainly use them to highlight my artwork to create depth and texture. Here is a piece of artwork that I did earlier, and as you can see I've left the coloured pencil looking quite flat. There's no highlights whatsoever. And I'm going to take my chosen erasers and start creating highlights and show you how I do it. And what you'll see is that certain rubbers will have more of an effect at removing the coloured pencil than others. Okay, so first up is the Tombow Mono Zero pencil rubber. I know it's a really long-winded name, and it's got a really fine point on it, so it's really good at getting into them really subtle details that you need. I first came across it when I was doing my graphite and charcoal drawings, and eventually it progressed into my coloured pencil work. It won't be very good at taking the coloured pencil off all the way back to the paper, but it is good at doing really subtle highlights if you need them. As you can see, I'm pushing quite hard with this one. It's mainly because it's not really designed for oily, waxy coloured pencil. But what I'll generally tend to do is create a nice subtle highlight, and then inside that highlight I'll push a lot harder to create a harsher highlight within the highlight, if that makes sense, and that gives you a nice little transition to the darker coloured pencil. So it's not the best rubber for coloured pencil, but it has its uses. And if you're looking for a rubber that can do fine detail and give you subtle highlights, the Tombow Mono is probably the rubber for you. The second rubber that I'm showing you is the Steadler Mars Razor. I'm sure I've pronounced that right, but I probably butchered the name. And it's a ballpoint pen rubber. You've seen me use it countless times in previous videos. Out of all the 4, it's probably my favourite, mainly because it'll take off a lot of coloured pencil because of the sandy nature of the eraser itself, and I can also sharpen it to a fine point and create lots of detail with it. Now you'll still have to push quite hard with the razor, probably just as much as you did with the Tombow Mono, but all the elbow grease will take off more coloured pencil, so you'll get a much deeper highlight. And it would also be useful that every now and again you just pick off the tip of the rubber, because as you can see from the video it gets quite clogged up, and even though it's still removing the coloured pencil, it could do a bit better. It also comes with this cool nifty little brush on the end of the pencil that you can use to dust away all the little rubber bits and not blow them all over your desk like I do and hate yourself after for doing it. My third go-to rubber when it comes to using coloured pencil is the Tombow Mono Sand Eraser. There's 2 types, but one's got the blue strip, which isn't a sand eraser, and one's got this little turquoisey strip on it, and that's the one you want if you're going to purchase one, so don't make that mistake because they look very similar. And this one will take you back to the white of the paper if you push hard enough. It's for block work, you can't really do fine detail, but I find if I've got a massive area where I need to add a really harsh highlight, you can really push on the paper and it will bring that white back, which I am demonstrating to you right now. I'm not even pushing that hard with the sand eraser right now, and I'm getting that level of highlight. So you can imagine if I pushed really hard, I would get the white of the paper back. So if you're looking for a razor that can do that with coloured pencil, then maybe this is the choice for you. Okay, so last but not least is a General's gum eraser. You can get other brands if you live in Britain or somewhere else, because it is an American company and they're quite hard to find in this country. Or if you do find, they tend to be quite expensive, but I don't mind because I like using the General's gum eraser. It's like a floppy gummy rubber, like it's between a kneaded eraser and a normal eraser. And the reason why I've chose it and why I like to use it is because it creates a textured effect when you use it, and certain parts of this rubber will cling to the tooth of the paper and remove bits of the coloured pencil, and it creates a textured effect, which is great for portraits in my opinion. I've time-lapsed myself erasing the other side of the leaf so I can show you what you can do using a combination of these rubbers to create highlights within your artwork. And as you can see, by using this technique with different types of rubbers, you can create lots of depth and contrast, and it becomes a lot more eye-catching. This is the finished artwork, and as you can see, I've created the illusion of a dip in the middle of the leaf which wraps out to the edge of the leaf, and it's all done by removing the coloured pencil with a bunch of rubbers. This will also add to the realism of the overall piece. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment, and thank you very much for watching.